Mm-hmm.
on 2 hours. That's all they gave me, 2 hours before the fight. Do you want to fight him? I says, yes. Somebody pulled out who was supposed to be having a championship defence,
Okay.
and they pulled out, and I got in. I got the actual fight, 2 hours notice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I ended up beating him. I
Okay.
stopped him in, I believe it was round 5 or round 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then they dropped the biggest bombshell on me.
Okay.
They made it a non-title fight because I wasn't the said opponent.
Oh,
So once
wow.
again, yeah, boxing politics and one thing and
Yeah.
another. So not long after that, I retired from the professional boxing ring.
Right. You
It took
retired
me,
from the boxing, but somehow or another, this gentleman came up to you and he had something in the gloves, and you guys went to talking about that thing.
yeah. What actually happened, I was walking back from the ring,
Mm-hmm.
back to the changing room, and this
Mm-hmm.
guy come out of the audience
Mm-hmm.
and he put something into my boxing glove. He says, I've watched you for many years. He
Mm-hmm.
says, please, look what I've done. I thought, yeah, you're a bit strange, but I just carried on walking.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got back to the changing room, took the gloves off, and a
Mm-hmm.
roll of £50 note
Mm-hmm.
fell out of my glove. I thought, wow, a lot of money there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it had got a little letter around it,
Mm-hmm.
and it says, if you ever get fed up with retirement, please give me a ring. And there was a
Mm-hmm.
number,
Mm-hmm.
no name. I still didn't know who the guy was,
Mm-hmm.
but a couple of weeks went by,
Mm-hmm.
and I rang him, and I ended up. He wanted me to go down to a big place near London, big
Mm-hmm.
posh place near London,
Mm-hmm.
and I went down. I was picked up and everything, chauffeured down. I'd not been accustomed to this, having a car pull up with a chauffeur in to take
Mm-hmm.
me down.
Mm-hmm.
It was all new and nice.
It's all knew it. All
And
knew it. Mm-hmm.
I went down, and I was there a few days, and I was treated like a king.
Mm-hmm.
And I still didn't know the real reason why I was going to be there.
Right.
Then he said, we'll go out tonight. I'm going to a show tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Come with me. We'll go to this show. And it was a bare knuckle show.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I got into the place, I knew why he'd got me down there. It was
Mm-hmm.
quite, you know. So he was speaking to me about it afterwards, wanting my thoughts on what I'd seen, what I thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him the truth. I says, to be honest with you, I says, 80% of them are overweight. I says, they look like they shouldn't be in there. They were panting. I says, and the others, well, they got no style or anything. They were just bruises.
Mm-hmm.
Would I like to have a go at it?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, let me have a think on it.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, yeah, no problems, no problems. He didn't push me at all. And I went back home the next day. I was took home. And it was a week or maybe 2 weeks. I can't remember to be exact, Donny.
Mm-hmm.
But I phoned him up and I said, yeah, let's have a go.
Okay.
And it wasn't long after that, I had my first one. And it was so easy because the guy who I was fighting, it was just as if he were in slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he'd trained for it, and I'd got my firepower back in me, and I had trained.
Mm-hmm.
And I won it, and it went from there. I had more fights, and it took me all over the world.
So you
I
was
had
in
41 fights.
so you was in bare knuckle boxing, and you liked it.
Pardon?
You was in bare knuckle
Yeah,
boxing.
it was interesting. It was different. It was so different.
Oh yeah.
But I had the 41 fights and I won 41. But then, the same as anything, there's something what comes up. Now, what it was for me, I was beginning to enjoy the nastiness too much.
Mm-hmm.
And I realised this. And that's a very dangerous position to be in.
Mm-hmm.
I was enjoying it too much. The knuckles on the bones and the cracking of the bones. It was getting as maybe it was time for me to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a lot of getting out of. But eventually I did get out it.
Right.
And not I didn't miss it. I didn't miss it at all.
Okay.
But I went to work at a concrete factory.
Yeah, you did. You did. You went to work in a
After
concrete
that,
factory.
yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, concrete factory. And I had a serious accident while I was there. And a 1.25 ton lump of concrete fell on my foot, crushed my foot. Now they said I'd never walk again and I'd never be able to walk unaided without walking sticks or something. And that was a lot for me to take in, especially being a boxer from the age of 9 years old. So I was getting really concerned about it, how serious it was. I went to a place in England called Harley Street. Now, all the top specialists are down there. And they said to me, no, you'll never be able to walk without a severe limp or walking sticks. And there was nobody who could help me. I was trying all avenues. And then one particular day, I'd been to the gym watching them because I used to do martial arts as well. And it was a martial arts gym I'd been, and I was watching the people. And this guy come to me, only a young guy. He says, Steve, he says, my uncle says he can cure you. Now, Donny, if you'd have come to me and said you can cure me, I was that grasping at straws. I'd have said, okay, you cure me then. And I said to him, well, okay, let's give him a go. Where is he? Thinking it would be Birmingham or London, the usual places. He says, he's in Hong Kong. I thought, wow.
Yeah, you had to go to Hong Kong to see the...
He was in Hong Kong, yeah.
Yeah, you had to go over there.
2 weeks later, I talked it over with my wife, and 2 weeks later, I was on a plane going out to Hong Kong. And
how long did you stay out there?
I was out there a few weeks. Okay. Yeah, I was out there a few weeks. I'd got an open-end ticket, and I'd got to make sure everything were right, because I was going and I didn't know these people. I didn't know what was what. I'd got a large amount of money on me to pay for things, and it was a little bit risky. But, you know, it was well worth it because they cured me. They'd done it. They operated whatever it was they'd done it. And I come back. I flew back to England, and my wife was at the airport to meet me. And when I'd gone through all the customs and everything, she says, oh, it's no better then, because I'd got my walking stick. I snapped the walking stick over my stomach and I walked straight. It was hurting. It was killing me, in fact. But I could walk, which is a big thing. They said I'd never do it again.
Yeah. That's right. It was a big thing because you was told that you was not going to be able to walk again, but you did, and you went to Hong Kong and you went there, and the physicians took care of you and got you straight and got you back over, and you came back home into the U.S. You came back and you wanted to fight again. You wanted to fight, and you did fight. You fought a gentleman by the name of John Ashton. You came back and hello, Crystal Will Wright. Let me say, I got to give some shouts out to these people. Daryl Wise, a good
Yeah,
friend of mine. Thank you for coming on. Crystal Will Wright. J York Productions was up here a little bit earlier. But as I said, you came back and you spoke this guy named John Ashton. And tell us
yeah.
about that. Tell us about that.
A good a good friend of mine, John Ashton. I'd known him for many years. I used to train him as amateur as well, and he was now a promoter, and he promoted for the European Boxing Federation, EBW, EBF,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to fight again. I'd got myself back to fitness. I was A1 again,
Mm-hmm.
and he just laughed at me. He says, "How old are you, Steve?" I said, "I'm 54." He says, "And you want to fight at 54?" I says, "Yeah."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He says, "Look, the best I can do, I'll come and watch you in sparring. We'll see what you like, and we'll take it from there."
Mm-hmm.
Well, this particular Sunday, come up to watch, and I was good. I
Okay.
was knocking them all about, the younger lads. I more or less forced him into sanctioning it to give me a fight.
Right. Right.
So not many weeks after, I had
you
the first comeback fight in 2010
mm-hmm.
at the age of 54, and
Wow.
I won it. I
And you
fought a
won.
guy who was 30 odd years younger than me, and I
Yeah,
beat him.
in 2011, you was the oldest and active boxer, professional boxer in the world. So the world means all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Um, and
Yeah,
we're gonna move along.
the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh,
And we,
I
as we
won
move along,
the Guinness World Record.
yes, yes, you did. You had the
Yeah,
Guinness Book World. People didn't. People. A lot of people don't know that. Y'all forgot about the Guinness Book of World Records. That
yeah.
states it all.
I
Yeah.
can't hear you very well, Donny.
Uh-oh. Can't hear me? Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Well, we're gonna close it. We're coming to the end. We're coming to the end anyway because I got to rock and roll. Can
I
you
can hear
hear
you a
me now?
little. I can hear little bits.
Little bit, Tom. Okay. Well, look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna close it out. 2017. You fought for the WBC uh, Conf- Co- Confederation Heavyweight Championship against Adris Sedan. I think it's Sedan. You
Uh,
remember that fight?
yeah,
Okay.
against Andreas Sidden in 2017. I fought for the WBC, the World Boxing Confederation Championship of the World.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was at heavyweight. He was about 6'8". He was a big man. He'd won 12 titles, different titles. I know I got my hands full, but the challenge was there, and I wanted to prove to people I could do it.
Right.
Plus, I wanted to be that world champion for my dad, my late dad.
Right.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
it was 12 3-minute rounds. It was at Mansfield, UK, 12 3-minute rounds. 6 rounds, I'd won every round, up to 6 rounds. I come out for the 7th round, and with him being so tall, I threw a left hook up to his chin, and I ripped all my rotator cuff in my left arm, my left shoulder. That made it as I couldn't lift my left arm at all.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he seen this, and he come straight at me. And he caught me, he put me down. I got straight back up. But the referee also seen it, and he knew that something had gone in my shoulder, and he stopped the fight.
Okay.
Now, it was very, very hard being 6 rounds in front and then losing that fight. And I didn't want to bow out on that sour note.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, only a few weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
I had another world title fight. This time, I won it.
Mm-hmm.
The WLC, the World Legends Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Gold division. I fought Adrian Palogi of Romania. He was 50 years old, just got into the 50 division. I was 64, just ready for bowing out of boxing.
Right.
And I stopped him in the first round. 2 minutes 59 seconds. He'd been down a couple of times. It was a very hard fight. He was so tricky. He was coming up with the body hooks, and I was sort of hitting down at him because for once I'd got somebody shorter than myself. They do make them shorter than me, you see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they make them
shorter.
They were
4 inches shorter.
Yeah, they make them
I beat him. I stopped him in 2 minutes 59 seconds, and I become the WLC, the World Legends Championships, Cruiserweight Gold Division Champion of the world.
Okay. So you hold that belt right now.
I've done what I wanted for me dad.
You hold that belt right now, correct?
Yeah, I've got the belt. So I ended up, my career finished with 3 Guinness World Records, and I become the world champion.
Wow.
So now I'm an happy man. Very happy man.
You're a happy man. Great. And that's a heck of a story, y'all. You know, that's a heck of a story. Here's a man that is, 65 years old, and been fighting for a very long time. Didn't like it at first when he was 11 years old. Went through a lot, through bullying, and had a hell of an amateur career. So he finished it out. He finished it out at his age and won the championship. And it's been a big thing. I thank you for coming on the show. I thank Oliver. I thank my guests. I got a question for you though. But who were some of your idols coming up as a boxer?
Sorry, can you say that again, Donnie? I didn't hear that correctly.
Who were some of your idols coming up as a boxer?
My idols definitely was Muhammad Ali, and I never got to meet him, and the marvelous Marvin Hagler. I thought he was fantastic. Yeah. And of course, my idol in life was my father. Yeah. And before his eyesight began to go, he was a real fighter. Like I said, we were brought up in the roughest part of Nottingham, UK, and nobody could tackle him. He was a real fighter.
Right. I bet he was. Man, it's been a great show. It's been good. I've learned something from a legend, and I appreciate you coming on the show and talking with us and give us a little bit of your time. And I want to thank Oliver Fennell for introducing me to you and learning. I'm learning something, y'all. I really am. I want to thank everybody that came on the show tonight. Anything else you want to say?
Yes, I want to say a big thank you to you, Donnie, for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. That's good of you.
You're welcome, man. Anytime. And we appreciate you.
And stay in touch.
Oh yeah. We might.
I've got a book coming out.
Yeah.
My autobiography comes out soon.
Okay. Well, we're gonna check your book out too, man. They might be making a film about you too. Might be making a movie about you, man. All right, man. We thank you for coming on. Hope to see you again. Thank you and your wife also. Thank her. Thank my production team, Team Hall, man.
We're a team. Thank you.
Thank you. See you next time, man. Yeah. All right, brother.
See you later. Bye-bye.
All right. A great guy there, man. Thank y'all. We'll be back Wednesday. That was my man, WLC Gold Cruiserweight Champion of the World. Wow, what a story. What a story he had to tell us, man. I'm telling you, that was good. I was like locked in totally. We thank y'all for coming on. We'll see y'all next time around right here on the DR People Show. See ya.
You are in the mix with D Hall and the People Show. Listen. Yo. This is a J York production.